Hey everybody, so today we have an exciting guest, Ntando Kunene. Welcome to Native Child.
Thank you so much for having me.
Ntando was actually introduced to South Africa as Miss South Africa's 2016, right?
Yes.
And after that you really have become a darling, you know, we all love you.
Oh my God.
We've all seen you through the journey of being Miss South Africa, and then going into motherhood, and then becoming into an entrepreneur. So I'm really excited about this heart-to-heart.
Yeah.
And just to get to know you just a little bit.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and well done, a native child.
Thank you.
Really, really inspiring and amazing as a person that's still starting out in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
You know, it's when we see things like this, we also want to get to a point where we've got office space.
Yes.
So this is really inspiring.
Oh, thank you, thank you. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. I read somewhere that you started modeling at the age of 4.
Oh my goodness. Yes, I did. My mom loved pageants. She still loves
really?
pageants. Yes.
Ah.
So she's a proper pageant mom. There's no one at home that has not entered a pageant. Everyone has entered a pageant. When I was 4 years old, there was a local competition that my mom took me to, and it was Miss Rainbow Festival. So when I went there, you know, we didn't have a car then. It's a story that I tell all the time, where I was on my mom's back and we were in a taxi to go to town to enter Miss Rainbow Festival. And when we got there, obviously the pageant happened, and then that was my first title when I was 4.
Oh, you even won that
Yeah,
title. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine this 4-year-old.
Oh no, my mom is the most, my mom does push me a lot,
Really?
which is really has been amazing for my journey. So when I won that, it was the start of something beautiful.
It was the start of your career,
yeah,
you know.
definitely.
And then, so when did you actually start watching the Miss SA pageant?
I started watching the Miss SA pageant when Kunene won, so I think that was 1997, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure, long time ago.
Yeah, it was quite a long time ago. So when we were watching it, remember in the olden days, we always watched Miss South Africa in December.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
and everyone would be around the TV, literally no one in the streets. Everyone was watching
Yes.
Miss SA that day. So when that happened, Kunene won, and I remember as a little girl, I was like, oh my God.
That's what I want to do.
That's what I want to do. Yeah.
And
That's
so
when
that
the seed
became
was
your goal.
planted. Yes. That's when the seed was planted, and I kept my eyes on the prize ever since.
Wow. And I've been amazed to hear a little bit of your background, that you come from a small town.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's so inspirational to see that you come from a small town, but you've achieved so much.
I think that's what happens when you come from a small town. You want to push yourself because you know the kind of environment that you come from. And so for me, coming from a township where it has so many social ills, you really just want to come out of that and be a beacon of hope for other young girls that come after you, to say it's possible. It doesn't matter whether you are 500 kilometers away from Johannesburg, but you can still make it whatever your dream is. So for me, coming from a small town is a blessing, because when you get this side, it pushes you even more, because you realize that there are so many people that are looking at you and are inspired by you, and then whatever it is that you do, it fuels them as well. So for me, it's always a thing of I'm representing my hometown. I'm representing those little township girls that might feel that they can't do anything. It's just say it's possible.
So I can totally relate with what you're saying. I also feel like my achievements are not just mine, but I allow other people to be able to do the same. Where you think something was not possible, I didn't have a role model. You know, I didn't have someone to study and go, oh, this is what they did, so maybe I can do that. Literally,
You see,
I went in blindly because of the dream that I had.
but you see, the most important thing with that is that you've now set a blueprint for another person to say, okay, this is what Native Child did, and I'm going to do something similar. So that's the most important thing about stories, you know. As long as we share our stories, there's someone out there that will watch, that will listen, and then they'll be able to be inspired by that and also want to be like yourself.
Now I wanted to find out, like, what was that? Because I can imagine holding a dream as a little girl, and then to finally have it realized. How did that feel like?
Geez, it was an out-of-body experience. It really, really was, because you've imagined that moment so many times, and then you get to the stage, and it's just that there's 3 people on the stage, and they're about to announce the win, and then your name gets called.
Did you think deep down that you would win?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did.
you did. Love that.
I did. I think it was after my question. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I got this.
Yeah. So I think when I was standing there, I knew that, okay, cool. I was in a very competitive group.
Yeah.
But the way I answered my question, I didn't hear how the other people answered, but I was pretty sure that I did really, really well. So, yeah.
What is it now? Now looking back, being a pageant winner, what is it that you thought you knew but didn't know? Like, what is it that you've taken out of it that you thought, geez, I didn't know that?
It's a lot of hard work.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of sacrifices. It's a lot of stepping out of your comfort zone many times. You're gonna have to do that. You grow with
break the stereotypes, because we are seeing you guys with your crown, and your poise.
Yeah, most of the time it's that, but it is a lot of work. You don't get to see your family as often as you'd like to. You don't get to see your friends as often as you'd like to, because you have a job, and your job is being Miss South Africa, and that means you are an ambassador of so many sponsors. Not only the country, you've got sponsors that you need to report to, sponsors that have expectations on how you should uphold their brand. So that is a lot of work, because these brands are all different, and at the end of the day, each and every person needs to be happy by the end of your reign. So it's a lot of hard work that when you look at it and you're wanting to enter, you might think, oh, just glamorous, there are early mornings.
I get so many perks.
There are the perks, yes, but you have early mornings and late nights, and not a lot of time with your friends or family. So, but you also realize that it's just 1 year of your life. It's just like going to school.
That's it.
It's just 4 years, but then you have that for the rest of your life. So it's just 1 year, and then you have it for the rest of your life.
Which leads, sorry to cut you off, which leads to my next question. You then went into corporate.
Yeah, I did.
After that.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Help me understand, right? Because you are an educator by profession, but then you went into private banking, or what?
So I did my undergrad in education at WITS, and then I did my honors in curriculum, also at WITS. And then afterwards, after Miss S.
Sorry, did you hear that? Honors.
Oh, now I'm actually, next year I'm doing my MBA.
Oh, MBA.
So after Miss South Africa, obviously you have so many doors that are open for you, but it's very important that you are able to discern which opportunities are there for you. And at that point in time, I think I just wanted something that is stable at that point. And for me, a 9 to 5 was the most stable thing that I could get, because I then knew how much I'd be getting every month. So for me, it was kind of that stability that I wanted straight after Miss Essay. And then I was working. How
was the adjustment though? Like, what was it like?
I think other people,
I
think other people had a weird time adjusting. I was fine.
Yeah.
I don't have problems with change.
Yeah.
I don't have problems with change at all. So for me, it was, that was a part of my life. Now this is a part of my life. This is something new, and I just have to embrace where life is for me now. So yes, everyone else is a bit like, oh, but why? At the end of the day, you always make decisions based on what feels right for you at that time, and what's best for you at that time. So then I was working as a public relations officer first, where I was doing awareness campaigns around gambling and alcohol. So I was in the what is it called? The regulatory space. We were regulating gambling and alcohol in the communities. So after that, I then moved and I went into private banking, which was, oh my goodness.
Hectic.
No, it was hectic. It was so hectic. I remember the one time, I like to challenge myself.
Yes.
And then the one time I was sitting in the office, I remember, and I looked around, I'm like, geez, I didn't think I can do this for a long time. I remember calling my mentor. I'm like, I don't think I can do this.
But wait, what was hectic about it?
No, I think I've actually never been in like that. Banking is a hectic space. I find that I'm a very creative person, and so there are just certain ways in which certain things are done where you can't really, you know, think out the box and whatever. It's very straightforward. This is what has to be done. You come in, you do what you have to do, and then you leave. So for me, that was, yeah, I just felt I'm not serving my highest self at that point. And although I was working in an amazing environment, you know, I loved working with the people I was working with. They were so supportive of me, but I just came to a point where I was like, no,
not gonna happen for the rest of my life.
No,
but I think what I'm getting out of our conversation is that you're someone who likes to challenge, you know, herself. You try things, you try things, and beyond the beauty, there are definitely brains in there.
I believe so. I think also my dad has a great role to play in that. As much as I was working, he would always ask me, okay, I know you're working, but when are you starting your own thing? And so he would always ask me that question. And I was like, no, I'll do it. I'll do it. Until the one time, I think he wasn't even ready when I told him that I've actually resigned. And he was like, wait, what?
So what's
his plan? Yes, that's the thing. His plan was, okay, cool, you're going to work until your side hustle is kind of like stable, and then you will quit your job. But I was like, no, I'm gonna do it now.
I quit.
Yeah.
You decided I'm gonna go all in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go all in. But I think another thing that made me want to do that is I was pregnant with my son, so it gave me time to think, okay, what is it that I can actually do, you know, because you get to a point where there are a couple of things that you can try out, but you then need to find that one thing to say, okay, I'll focus on this for now until I see where it takes me. So when I had my son, I literally did focus on motherhood until early 2019 when I got back into the swing of things. And like, okay, definitely I don't want a 9-to-5. I'm going to really just push myself to find something that works for me.
Okay. We've been, when I say we, I'm talking for fellow Africans, have followed your journey. We've seen you through your highs. We've also seen you through some of your lows. Now, but I see you look unaffected.
Oh my goodness.
What's the formula?
Oh my God, there's no formula.
What is the formula?
There's literally
for happiness.
There's no formula for happiness. I think whatever happens in life, the first step to dealing with it is acceptance. Yeah. Before you can go for everything else, accept the situation.
This is where I am.
Accept it for what it is and not for what you wish it to be. So once you accept it for what it is, you'll be able then to free yourself from everything else. Like, okay, this is what it is now. This is where I am. How do I pave my way moving forward?
Does public opinion shape you?
No.
Good.
Unfortunately.
I'm glad you said that, because really I feel like those kind of things are the things
I'd be stressed.
Depression and stress.
Yeah, I'd be stressed. I'd be I think living for people's approval. So which one do you actually follow? Because people will talk about you whether you're doing good, people will talk about you whether you're doing bad, so it doesn't really matter. So just do you.
Follow your own light.
Just follow your own light, follow your own heart, and just focus on being the best version of yourself that you can be.
What is Ntando currently doing now? I know am I allowed to say
What?
that you're about to launch something, or
Which one? I'm working on so many things. So currently the book is out. Yes.
The book.
Yeah, the book is out. Corey in the Universe. It's a project that we started with my partner. We went to varsity together. We've always had the interest for children and wanting to write for children. We were writing separate books actually.
Really?
Yeah, she was writing a book on her own. I was writing a book on my own. And then when COVID happened, we were just like, let's write something for the children, something that will help them deal with the coronavirus and its effects. So
what inspired it though?
We were inspired
literally by COVID, but I mean, what made you?
We were just thinking that there are so many conversations happening around COVID, but everyone is having such an adult conversation. We are not talking about how this is affecting children.
True.
And so we wanted to talk about the lived experiences of our children in South Africa and how COVID-19 has affected them. So we look through 6 characters that come from different backgrounds and that are different races and have different stories to tell as well within the book. So it's not only, when you read it, it's not only about the coronavirus. If you look deep into, there's so many teaching elements. There are family structures, we've targeted this autism, we've talked about substance abuse, there's just so many other elements within the book where as a parent, as a teacher, as a guardian, you'd find a teaching and learning moment for your kids, and also just to talk about difficult topics like death, where we have...
Oh wow, so you really covered a whole spectrum.
We did. We have a whole chapter that's dedicated to death, where we unpack it for children, because sometimes when we explain death to kids, it's always like, yeah, they just went to heaven and that's about it. But you don't take them along to hear and understand what they think about this topic, because most of the time we want to impose and we never want the kids to actually say something, and you'd realize that when you just ask them a question without giving them the answers, the kids are the most understanding humans in the whole world. You'd be very surprised. So the book is covering those kind of topics. So yeah,
it's exciting. It's exciting. So where can people get your book?
So we're going to be CNA nationwide, also in Lesotho, Namibia.
Yes, really guys, CNA. Like we don't play small here.
And then with Ethnic Kids, it's going to be online. So those are 2 distributors, and we're really excited. It's going to be available in all 11 official languages. So each person gets to read Corey in the Universe in their language. And Corey is coronavirus. We've just found like a nickname for it. It said Corey in the Universe.
And then just to kind of wrap up our conversation, I wanted just to ask you a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. Like, how do you feel like you're finally doing what you want to do, or are you still finding it's a struggle? Like,
I have definitely found what I want to do, which is entrepreneurship. And for me, I'm a person that is very much multi-talented. And so I have a few interests and I have a few passions and things that I want to do. Sometimes I think, geez, Ntando, that's a lot of stuff that you're going to do. But then it is, you know, we're always talking about multiple streams of income, and that's always what we want to strive for. So with the book being out, yes, I'm doing that with my partner, but I've got another exciting project that's going to be out in the next possibly 6 months, and another one. So it's just, I've come to a point in my life, you know, there are moments in your life where you plan. Where you plan a lot and you're planting seeds, and then you wake up one day and all those seeds are kind of growing. And so now I have to pay attention to all of them. So that's literally what happened to me in 2020, where all these seeds are planted over the years. They have somehow just come to life, and I need to nourish and grow and still water. So yeah, I found what I want to do, that is always just working on the ideas that God gives me all the time. Oh, that's amazing, and I wish you all the best with those. I know you'll kill them, but I still give you good energy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Onwards and upwards. So in closing, we are going to actually play a game. I wasn't told. Thank you, Ntando, so much for that chat. We'll be right back. We're going to be playing a game after the break. Okay, so we are now going to
play a game called Drink and Flip.
Flip it, drink.
Not flip and drink. So for you guys at home, if you guess who's going to win, the first 3 people who will guess who wins are going to get a native child hamper and
a Corey in the Universe book.
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go!
Oh my gosh. It feels like you're cheating. What? Have you played this game before? Oh my God. I nearly done it. It feels like you practiced.
No! This one is a bit skewed.
Well done.
Sketches away.
Well done. It's fine.
That was fun. Jeez, I won.
So before I let you go, I'd like to know, what advice would you give people who look up to you?
The advice I'd like to give to anyone that's going to be watching this is keep on keeping on. That's one thing I always tell myself, that life has a lot of challenges, but always just keep on keeping on. Don't give up on yourself, don't give up on your dream, and really just keep on keeping on each and every day.
And with that, it's a wrap.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming through.